The static crackles like cheap whiskey on ice, ozone from the capacitor bank biting at the back of the throat. Dust motes dance in the single neon tube, casting a wound-red glow on hand-labelled vinyl. Outside, a low hum of the city, a promise of rain on hot concrete. The console smells of old nicotine and the stubborn warmth of a war surplus transmitter.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
In Permont, we're reading 60 degrees Fahrenheit with partly cloudy. Winds are moving from the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour. Switching frequencies, next signal, remove Windrush payout scheme from Home Office control. Tonight, we open with a breach of trust, the UK Home Office's grip on the Windrush compensation scheme, where justice remains a bureaucratic whisper.
Campaigners from groups like the Windrush Foundation and JCWI report that out of an estimated £500 million allocated, only around £80 million has been paid to victims since 2018. Over 2,000 legitimate claims remain in limbo, leaving thousands of Windrush generation elders and their families in continued financial and emotional distress as they wait for rightful restitution.
This isn't just about money, it's about the state's architecture of apology. For many, it feels like being asked to beg for restitution from the very hand that caused the harm. Imagine trying to rebuild your home with bricks provided by the same entity that demolished it, while they still hold the blueprints and dictate the repair schedule.
Instead of the Home Office maintaining control, an immediate alternative is an independent body, perhaps structured like a public trust, with a board comprising Windrush descendants and independent legal experts. This body would administer claims with transparent deadlines and a claimant-centric appeals process, similar to how the German government established an independent commission for Holocaust reparations.
Kalen, that's the structural pivot. Our next move experiment for the Windrush community is to launch the Sovereign Restitution Blueprint. We'll collaborate with legal aid charities and grassroots organisers to draft a model bill for parliamentary consideration, detailing how an independent compensation body could function, focusing on dignity and swift, unburdened justice. This blueprint reclaims the narrative of self-worth from bureaucratic delay. Patching in a caller, the contrarian. You're on the signal.
Togee, this is the contrarian. You're talking about an independent body for Windrush. But the Home Office argues it maintains oversight and protects taxpayer funds from fraudulent claims. How do you guarantee accountability and prevent an independent body from becoming a blank check without direct governmental control?
Contrarian, accountability is precisely what's missing when the perpetrator holds the purse strings. The Home Office's own track record shows inefficiency, not protection. The Public Accounts Committee has repeatedly flagged its failures. An independent body, governed by a diverse board including claimants, would have built-in checks and balances, public reporting requirements, and a mandate to prioritise restitution, not bureaucratic obstruction. Fraud prevention mechanisms can be integrated without sacrificing claimant trust, just as many charitable trusts manage large funds transparently. Same dossier, new angle. Keep the thread tight.
The Albanese government is targeting $15.3 billion in NDIS savings over 4 years, proposing foundational supports outside the scheme, and potentially altering assessment criteria for participants. This exposes approximately 640,000 NDIS participants and their families to reduced funding and services, shifting the burden onto state health systems and informal carers, contravening the NDIS review's focus on co-design.
It's like building a grand, accessible public park, then deciding to remove the ramps and handrails to save money, expecting everyone to just find another way. The original NDIS vision was a national safety net, a collective agreement for dignity. These proposed changes erode that social contract, making access a privilege, not a right, and leaving disabled Australians to navigate a maze without a map.
A truly empowering alternative would be to fully implement the NDIS Review's 26 recommendations, which prioritized co-design with the disability community. This means investing in early intervention programs, streamlining plan consistency, and ensuring genuine participant choice, rather than imposing arbitrary spending caps that push people off the scheme and onto underfunded state services.
Kaylin, that shift from cost-cutting to co-design is critical for resilient civic architecture. Our next move experiment, we're launching NDS, our blueprint for consent. We'll host a series of digital workshops across key regional centres, inviting participants and families to collaboratively draft counter-proposals that embody the NDIS review's spirit of co-design, directly challenging the government's top-down approach with ground-up solutions. This is about building systems with people, not for them. A tube amp size, a low, contented thrumming. Finally, we turn our gaze to the US Supreme Court, where recent voting rights decisions leave many asking, where can we find hope amidst eroding democratic foundations?
Since the 2013 Shelby County v. Holder decision gutted Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, over 100 restrictive voting laws have been passed in states like Georgia and Texas. While Merrill v. Milligan 2023 upheld Section 2, its narrow application, coupled with new voter ID requirements and gerrymandering, disproportionately impacts millions of Black and Hispanic voters, creating structural barriers to their participation.
This isn't just about a ballot, it's about the very architecture of voice. When the highest court allows the drawbridges to be raised on the castle of democracy, the message is clear. Some citizens are welcome, others must fight harder to even reach the gate. It's a reenactment of historical disenfranchisement, just with sharper legal instruments.
A robust alternative requires federal legislative action, specifically passing something akin to the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. This would restore pre-clearance, modernize protections against discriminatory practices, and establish national standards for voter access, moving beyond the current patchwork of state laws that often invite suppression.
Kaylin, securing that federal architectural standard is paramount. Our next move experiment is the Vote Compass Decoder. We'll partner with organizations like the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and the ACLU to develop a series of animated explainers and interactive maps, accessible via community platforms. These tools will demystify specific state voting laws, expose gerrymandered districts with clear analysis, and provide actionable steps for citizen advocacy and protection of the franchise. It's about turning confusion into actionable vectors for dignity.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.